Okay, I've been playing around with the wiring in my Excalibur trying to figure out why the main lights were not coming on. You can now see that I've got the main lights to come on. So I want to show this because some of you have asked to see the lighting. I want to do this before I lose it again. So here is the flood effect that happens with the floods that I've installed. See how nice that works? Nice, bright, wide fan, and achieved by putting an SMD in that little conical piece of styrene tubing that I use. And I've got the Polar Lights Bussard lighting for this, but note that I use the Pilot 1 and 2 caps for this. Spray painted those with a translucent red so that I could have the little antennae or whatever those are supposed to be on the ends of them. I just kind of like that look. Now here is the flood on the nacelle. I wish that were brighter and was casting down the whole length of the nacelle, but it's just, you know, I'd need maybe a laser or something to actually be able to do that. Notice also that I put that little strobing light on there, the red on the red side and green on the green side. I just thought that'd be nice to have a little extra thing like that with it. So the floodlight does a decent job of illuminating the Federation insignia. On the side of the secondary hull, you see that the flood works a lot better, gives you a bit more, chiefly I think because of the channel there that the insignia sits within. The light kind of reflects down into it. I've got a lot of the windows still covered up with coverings for the painting, so I need to take the stickers off of those, but I'm not done with touch-up painting and everything yet. And let me show you the pulsing effect by having that flickering LED in there. Isn't that just nice? This gives an added dimension to these models. So I highly recommend you give that a try. Okay. And you can see that I've got the blue tint going on the nacelles on the inside, but I've left those pieces, those inserts loose so I can take them out and change the color to any other color I may wish. So now the big test here, I'm going to flip this over and see if the lights stay on, because that's where things went cattywampus before I left for LA. Nice. I'm glad they stayed on. Okay, so you see the flood effect. See the flood effect. Not as great as I wanted on the nacelles, but still pretty nice. Now let me show you up here. See how that flood just lights up the saucer? Really, really like that. There's the bridge. And again, putting that SMD up into the top above the door so that it illuminates the whole bridge. Instead of doing underlighting or side lighting with the clear bridge piece, again I just use the bridge that comes with the kit itself and spend my time painting up the bridge to make it look right. Oh, I'm glad I've got these figured out. Now these lights up on top of the nacelles here behind the bussards, those are just supposed to be static, non-blinking, not even illuminated lights, but I think that's kind of silly to not have those. Now let me show you why I love that Franz Josef engineering look. Look how much better that is. I've got flickering red 5mm in there, and just having that many more exhaust windows there, or impulse in windows there, and the cowling, that just looks cool. So much nicer than the plain two-piece one of the standard one, and I can swap that out and show you. Oh, look at those flickering reds in there. Okay, so there's the standard, and that looks really good too. But it's got the lens in there, and that's why you're getting some diffusion with it. I haven't put any canopy glue in this one yet, so you're just getting the straight light source through it. But even so, that really looks cool. Now, the hangar bay. Oh, I've got a light not working. The light up in here, I've got a strip of LEDs in there, and for some reason they're not lighting up. Ah, that's frustrating. But you can see the access panels here at the front of the landing bay that I scribed in using the blueprints that I blew up to 110% as a template. You can see some red there, but see that strip of LEDs in there should be lighting that up constantly. I put some decals down in the back that I just hacked off of one of my NX01 kits on the floor there. Just give a little added dimensionality to it. And you can see that I've got the upper room there lit red, just for a little differentiation. And you see how well lit the top is there, and that was achieved with those narrow LED strips that I was using earlier in one of the other videos, because they fit perfectly into those recesses there and just light that sucker up. Really happy with that, but I'm really annoyed that the strip down in there is not working, lighting up these rear approach lights. That's very frustrating. And it appears I'm getting good light from those LEDs here on the side, but again, I have those windows covered up with the masking stickers because I'm not done doing touch-up painting. And you can see here at the top I've got one very bright LED there. That's the third light at the end of the strip of the LED strip that I put all along here, lighting all of this up. Those little narrow strips are really useful. Like those a lot. They can get into nice little tiny small places. Let me show you that pulsing on the end caps again. Boy, that just really looks good. Like that a lot. So there's the Excalibur. Main lights working again. So glad it is, and so glad that those floods up on the saucer are highlighting everything I want them to highlight. So there is the 1350 TOS Enterprise kit with a number of Franz Josef modifications made to it, plus just some extra ones of my own because I wanted to have them there, and trying to make it look a little bit like the motion picture version. Oh, so glad that I was able to quickly get those lights back on without having to bust open the secondary hull again to fix anything in there. But why that other strip of lights isn't working has just got me frustrated. But it's a beautiful build. I love this kit, and I'm going to make my Republic look a lot like this too. Really love that flooding effect on the underside here, just so much like the motion picture version. And it's too bad the original series didn't have that as well. So there she is, the Excalibur, all lit up. Oh, probably I ought to cap her. Putting on the, let me get this right here. If she'll stay on. There we go. There she is. USS Excalibur. So do play around with your own kit. Don't just go for the canonical view on anything. Look at the Franz Joseph blueprints and see what kind of changes, modifications you can make. Because it sure does give you a different view of this ship, putting little changes on her like this. So let me get a light on here. There she is. I love how quiet those engines are too. Didn't have to do any real modification or soundproofing to any of that. Not nearly as loud as they were the first kit I did on these. Now again, as I said before, the interchangeability of some of these parts got to figure out a way. The deflector dish, yeah, I've got to figure out a way to make that totally interchangeable. Really liking that. Got to get this thing finished up. Now that I see I don't have to do a ton of damage control on the lights. But I am noticing the neck. I guess I didn't have sufficient glue in the neck. So I gotta kind of figure out a way to do that. I may just have to pop the neck off again and re-glue that. I'm not sure. But I think I'll have Excalibur done another day or two, and I'm going to take this sucker to my classroom. And awe my kids with it. Okay, there she is. USS Excalibur with modifications. Hope you enjoy.